Okay, fam, welcome back. So today we're going to be going over the Bitcoin miners. So with that being said, let's get it. Okay, so um, the first thing I wanted to mention here is that the FOMC meeting is tomorrow. That's going to be at 11:30 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. So adjust your time accordingly. But the market's consensus right now is pretty much that the Fed is going to cut by at least a quarter basis point cut. The question is, what is Jay Powell going to come out and say? I guess we'll have to see. My money is willing to bet that he's going to come out and say, yeah, we're going to rate cut and everything is fine and blah, blah, right? And then the markets are going to pop. That would be my guess as to what's going to happen. There is reasons for this, okay? So the markets, you guys can see on the, and again, we usually only talk about this in the macro videos, but on the 50 and 200-day moving averages here, we're getting pretty low on the totem pole, okay? So on the 50 day moving average for the S&P stocks, we haven't been this low in a while. Okay, it's been a little while since we've been down here. We're at a 37, whereas the Nasdaq is slowly pulling back. We're at a 60 now on the Nasdaq. So and the VIX is up, of course, which it probably always is before FOMC. I wouldn't be shocked. I think the market's expecting the Fed to pause rates. I don't think they're going to do that. Again, I've never known the Fed to ever begin cutting rates and then just stop cutting rates all of a sudden. I've never personally seen that. And to be honest, I mean, I don't see any reason why they should. We know that Trump's very anti-inflation policies, okay, it could be inflationary under the wrong circumstances. But again, I've already covered all this, okay? The tax cuts, the money printing, the Fed rate cuts, money flowing out of risk off assets into risk on assets. That's all going to be offset by an end to the wars and illegal immigration, or the people that are illegal immigrants being deported from whatever country they're in. Because again, there's some things you guys don't understand here, okay? When more people are in a country than, or abnormally more than usual, okay, that creates inflation. With that being absent, that would kill inflation, okay? And when the wars come to an end, the wars that are happening are not just causing wars against the people that live in those countries, it's also causing war against the goods and services created in those countries. And as far as I know, Ukraine is one of the largest wheat producers on the planet, okay? So by killing the livestock and the fields of grain and all that stuff, you're essentially creating inflation by default, because if there's less of something but there's still a high demand for it, what does that do? That causes inflation, that causes the price of those goods and services to go up, okay? And then there's the energy component as well, the producing of oil in the country, which obviously Trump is going to do. It's all very anti-inflationary, okay? Do I think the Fed's going to pause rates or even hike? No, I think it's ridiculous. I mean, look, all these people in finance, they've already seen what Trump's policies can do. Okay, historically, the inflation rate under his administration has been low from the start of his administration in 2016 until the end of his administration in 2020. Inflation was at or below 2% the entire time. Okay, you guys can go check this data for yourself to confirm this is true. Okay. Whereas in 2021, inflation started under Biden. Again, I know it sounds political, but I'm just stating the facts as they are. Okay, you guys can feel however you want about it. I don't care. The reality is the facts are what they are. Okay. All right, so let's get into the miners here. I will tell you guys, I think the day in the sun is coming for the miners and the meme stocks. Okay, the price of AMC did go up today, actually. And again, I know this is not about AMC and GME, but GME, AMC looking like they're ready to pop any day now. We actually bought another 100 shares of AMC as well on the dip today. So you guys may be surprised to hear that. You're probably like, oh, well, you've just been sitting there holding AMC. Yeah, well, we didn't really tell you when we were going to buy. We just said that maybe at some point we might add more. So again, when you're a position trader, the value of patience is critical. So we bought, again, another 100 shares, roughly about $4.11. We wanted to make sure the price we were getting was pretty good, so brought the cost basis down quite a bit to $6.43 per share. So the targets for us are still the same, so about a 6-7x somewhere there. But yeah, I mean, this is you guys can see it literally came and immediately bounced off this level. So I don't think it needs to say more about that. Plus, you got an inverse head and shoulders here. So, anyways, let's get on to the minors. Okay, so Mara, pullback area here, I would say probably somewhere around this kind of 21 to 23, somewhere there if you're looking for that. We got to get above structure here at 20, I say about 28. Once we get a green candle close of some kind above this golden line here, it should be pretty much straight up from there. And above 33 too, obviously, but there's obviously a big gap between 28 and 33, right? That's $5 per share. So yeah, the targets here could be anywhere from 33, I'd say going, assuming these things have like some kind of temporary peak in January, February, sometime in there, maybe about $60. That could definitely happen, I would say. So the immediate move, roughly about 58% gain, going all the way out to February here, maybe somewhere in that kind of 190% possible move here. And again, when Trump gets into office, or as we get closer to that, I suspect the price of these miners will go up because, again, he did say he wanted to get all the Bitcoin mined in the US, right? You guys got to understand something about the Bitcoin strategic stockpile, or whatever you want to call it. It's not just a means to be bullish on crypto to make you really truly have to understand politics to understand what's going on here. Okay, this is a dual play by Trump. So number one, it's bullish for crypto, right? Bullish for Bitcoin. Everybody wants to see their moon bags go to the moon, right? Everybody wants that, obviously, us included. But in addition to that, on the flip side, it's a political power play. Again, if you guys got to understand, if the US is not bullish on Bitcoin and everybody else and their brother around the world is buying Bitcoin, the US is at risk of losing the basically being the main superpower of the world. Okay, but if Trump comes in and says, "Hey, guess what? I'm going to buy $200,000 or 200,000 Bitcoin a year for the next 4 years," sure hate it for you. Everybody and their brother is going to be scrambling to try to get Bitcoin. And if the US holds the largest amount of Bitcoin in the world, guess what? That means the US retains world dominance, which is exactly what's going to happen. It is not just a crypto play, it is a political play. If you guys truly understand how politics work, it's essentially war, is what it is. Okay, war between world leaders for global dominance. That's what this is. Nobody likes it the way it sounds, but that's the reality of things, okay? And I know that Trump and the U.S. do not want to lose world dominance. Maybe the Democrats do, but clearly the Republicans do not. Okay, so Riot, this thing looks like it's going to break out. There's also a possible kind of ascending triangle pattern here. Again, it's a very bullish pattern. That obviously would be a breakout because it would have to be descending for it to be a breakdown. In this case, it's a bullish pattern. So if there is a pullback area, this gold line is what I'm looking at. It's about 1240, but I mean, considering it's kind of wedged in here, the price is maybe not lower than 1290, 13, something like that as a buy zone. Targets here 1860 to about 21. Do I think it stops at 21? Hell no, I don't. I think it's going to go way higher than that. Okay, so 74% gain here, CLSK. Again, the all-time highs for Mara, Riot, CLSK, and Hut 8 are kind of in those 80 area, 80-ish, I think. Let me double check on this. My bad. So for CLSK, it's 43, but yeah, for Riot, Mara, and Hut 8, it is actually 80. Still, nonetheless, I mean, hey, $40, not bad, right? Okay, so CLSK, buy zone here, 1219 to 1380 until the market figures out what the hell it wants to do. You have possible bull flag, which we're still within here. The target for this is going to be $22. I'll tell you guys right now, pretty much what I'm seeing is basically just a giant accumulation zone. Again, I know it's not the prettiest looking thing in the world, but I mean, really, you kind of have two accumulation zones here. Technically, it's, again, this is what I hate about this chart. It makes it so hard to read, but you have kind of an accumulation or distribution zone up here, and then you have one down here, okay? So normally it wouldn't look like this, but for some reason CLSK is special, so I again, I don't know why this is happening, but the whole share buyback thing, in my opinion, is extremely bullish. So about a 94% move. Again, the levels here would be 21.30 to 24. I think CLSK probably easily going to go past $24 a cycle, especially with the whole share buyback and the MicroStrategy play and all that. Okay, so HUD 8. Again, we have kind of this possible bull flag pattern here. Hasn't made a move yet, but usually when it breaks out, I mean, the target can be measured in this case. So let's say it breaks out at this point, you'd be looking at about $46 on this one. On the flip side, though, however, if it does break down, which I don't know that happens or not, but again, the EMAs are down here. It's always a risk. Then obviously the buy zone would be down here. So kind of pick your poison on this one. Anywhere from 1770 going to, I'd say, about 27.5 as potential buy areas for this one, with about 154% gain here. Ciphers, so this thing is really ugly, but it does look like it's still kind of playing out that triangle pattern. I guess we'll find out this week if it's going to actually play out or not. It's hard to say, but looks like it's going to head up to resistance at the next level, so 980-ish, somewhere in there. So the bottom of this triangle, potentially a buy zone, so around 6.25 is what I'd be looking at here. 1010 to 1050 as a target. Just understand the measurement for the triangle or bull flag is not the do-all end-all. It's just the measurement is it's meant to hit that target, but it's not necessarily meant to stop there. Okay, 68% BTBT. Next one. So we're climbing, but we're kind of still in the zone here. So in my opinion, I think that is a bullish sign. We're probably going to get a breakout at some point. When exactly, I don't know. So buy zone here anywhere from I'd say about 335 to about 390. I'd be looking at the swing high as a target, so about 580. For about a 73% move. Now, if it goes much higher than that, obviously it could go to maybe around $8 and then all the way up to $12.40 to about $14.50. So just want to throw that out there for now. BITF's still looking like Ethereum, man. I mean, Jesus, that's some accumulation. Okay, so you got the big triangle pattern here. Again, I know it's kind of ugly, is what it is. I'll just tell you guys right now what the potential breakout would be on this when it does happen. Let's just say maybe it's this week or next week. About $5.24, 5.25, somewhere in there. So pretty much the current level it's at, in my opinion, is a good buy area. So $2 to $2.30, level above head $3 to $3.60, and again the target is all the way up here at 5.25 for about 170% gain. IREN, so we're getting a double test here. We'll see if this actually does get a breakout. It's hard to say at this point, but most traders that see this would say, yeah, that's probably a double top. Personally, I'm not a bear. Okay, I'm very bullish on these markets. There's a good reason to be, but if there is a pullback from here, I'd say probably about $10.50 to $12, somewhere in there could be a good area to buy. And then I'd just be looking at maybe this swing high over here on the left at kind of this 1850 area as a target, so 72%, I mean. Hive, so we're kind of stuck in here. Again, this looks like one big giant accumulation zone. None of this is ever going to be textbook. It's never going to look perfect, but you guys can see what's going on here. I actually can even drag this back even further, maybe with the exception of this area right here. It's pretty much just a massive accumulation zone at the bottom of a move, which tells me likely it's probably going to go higher at some point. So buy zone here at 350 to about, I'd say pretty much right about the current price, so 350 to 390, somewhere in there. I'd be looking for targets of 575 to about 750. We have to break $5 to change structure here. About 108% gain. Wolf, so this thing's trudging up within an upward channel. We got a series of higher highs and higher lows here, even though this is a bearish pattern. In my opinion, it's probably going to break out, not break down. Again, the EMAs are fanning out to the upside. It's testing and bouncing off the EMAs, higher highs, higher lows. Looks like it's trying to get out of the zone. I mean, even though this is a bearish rising channel, I don't think it's going to play out that way. Okay, so buy zone for a pullback here, roughly about 460 to, I'd say, about 615. I'd be looking at this golden line up here as the target, so about 16 bucks. Again, whether you're looking for short-term, mid-term, or long-term profits on any of these is up to you. So 248% on this one. And again, this gold level here is a major structure level. This is this was right around the time that Bitcoin and crypto topped out last cycle. So if we get above that level, it's going to be pretty sweet gains, I would think. All right. So anyways, hope you all enjoyed this content. Please like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see y'all later. Peace.